Hello there to boxing fans around the world. Thank you for joining me once again here on Talk and Fight for another episode of Boxing News Headlines. A big shout out over the weekend goes towards our Talk and Fight production team, as well as the fellows over in Netherlands who put together that fight for David Rajuli, put it online, live streamed it around the world. Great success, despite the occasional drunken Dutchman walking into our camera people. But other than that, great show. I'm glad you joined us. It was a lot of fun. We'll do it again very shortly. For another fight, I think taking place in Canada and maybe another one elsewhere as well. Great technology at play and a great boon for boxing in general. Now, speaking of great boon for boxing in general, I can't say that fight between Anthony Joshua and Jermaine Franklin was a boon for boxing, but at least Anthony Joshua won. Now, who he fights next, probably if you ask Eddie Hearn, it would be Dillian Whyte. But if you ask Anthony Joshua, he'd like to go toe-to-toe with Tyson Fury. But that remains to be seen. Let's go through a few of the stories, a few of the opinions that people had to say in the wake of that quote-unquote fight. Anthony Joshua returned to the ring after almost a year of inactivity. And I think his last victories in 2020. And defeated Jermaine Franklin by unanimous decision over in London. But it's a far from convincing performance by the former heavyweight champ, who looked cautious, tentative, and uninspired for most of the 12 rounds. So, in a nutshell, that's about it in terms of how everyone's opinion basically ran on this one. Franklin, on the other hand, tried his best to make it a fight. He was not intimidated by Joshua's size or reputation. He threw punches with conviction and landed some decent shots to the body and head. He was durable and resilient, never backing down or giving up. He even got into a scuffle with Joshua after the final bell, showing his frustration and anger. So, all in all, Franklin did put up a good fight without a doubt, but the decision ultimately went to Anthony Joshua. In the wake of that decision, let's have a look what Jim Kalfa at BoxingNews24.com had to say. Anthony Joshua's trainer, Derrick James, blew his stack following his victory over Jermaine Franklin when he was asked how AJ would do against Tyson Fury if he's the next opponent for him. Derrick seemed to snap when asked a harmless question about how Joshua, now 25-3, would fare against the unbeaten Fury. The way that Derrick lost his cool, says his author, it would seem to some that he lacks confidence that Joshua can beat Fury. He said, I thought it was a good performance. He did everything I wanted him to do. I don't care about the knockout. I just cared about the victory. So building and getting better and better. So this was the first step. Okay. He had 10 weeks to train, so we stuck to the script, and we believe in the script. He stuck to the script that I wrote out, and I love him for that. I'm not involved in that part of it, said James when asked if he would be in favor of Joshua fighting Tyson Fury next. If I want what he wants. So if he wants that type of fight, I'm ready for that fight. I only want what they want. I have no choice. I don't really care about it. It's his career. I'm just helping to guide him to get ready. Then I guess this is where he explodes. Man, why do you ask me a question like that? That's a dumbass question. Do you think I think he's going to say he's going to lose? What are you talking about? Well, why would you ask me? I'm not going to say he's going to lose. Hey, man, he's going to win. I don't know about all that. All I know is I can't imagine my guy losing. I've watched Tyson Fury, but not enough to in competition form. I just watch him as a fan, so I got to watch him. I haven't seen him fight to be into it. I don't know. This was a fighter that was more challenging than anyone can imagine because it was step down. In reality, in a step down, you can overlook a guy like that with respect to Franklin. A guy like that can always beat you, but if you don't focus, in theory, it's a step down. But a guy like that has nothing to lose. But if you believe you're better than you really are, you can lose to a guy like that. I think each fight can be a step up because in reality, how you face fighters and how you face situations is all about the competition. Obviously, he'll be better and better in his next fight, said James about Joshua. So immediately after the fight, though, Joshua goes out and challenges Tyson Fury to a heavyweight showdown after his decision over Franklin. Joshua said he's ready to face Fury. He said, I want Fury next. He's been talking a lot of rubbish, and I want to shut him up, Joshua said in his post-fight interview. So, out of curiosity, said this particular author, who will win this epic clash if it takes place? Here are some factors to consider. Experience. Fury has faced tougher opponent than Joshua, having fought Wilder twice, Vladimir Klitschko and Derrick James. He has also overcome personal challenges outside the ring, such as depression and substance abuse. Joshua has faced some good fighters, such as Ruiz Jr., Alexander Povetkin, and Joseph Parker, but he's also suffered 3 losses and looked vulnerable at times. Fury has more experience at the highest level and knows how to deal with adversity. Style. Fury and Joshua have contrasting styles that will make for an interesting matchup. Fury is master of feints, angles, and timing, while Joshua is more straightforward and aggressive. Fury likes to frustrate his opponents with his movement and defense, while Joshua likes to impose his power and pressure. Fury can switch stances and vary his attacks, while Joshua relies more on his jab and right hand. Fury has more versatility and unpredictability than Joshua. Size. Fury and Joshua are both huge heavyweights, but Fury has a slight edge in size. He's taller, 6'9" versus 6'6", heavier, 273 pounds versus 240 pounds, and has a longer reach, 85 inches versus 82 inches. Fury can use his size to keep Joshua at bay with his jab or to smother him on the inside. Joshua can use his size to bully Fury with his strength or to land explosive shots from close range. Fury has more advantages with his size than Joshua. Power. Both fighters have knockout power, but Joshua has more explosive power than Fury. He can end a fight with one punch, as he did against Povetkin and Dillian Whyte. He can also hurt his opponents with body shots or uppercuts. Fury has more cumulative power than Joshua. He can wear down his opponents with volume and pressure, as he did against Wilder and Chisora. He can also surprise his opponents with sudden bursts of aggression or counterpunches. Joshua has more potential to score a knockout than Fury. Stamina. Both fighters have good stamina, but Fury has more endurance than Joshua. He can fight at a pace for 12 rounds without slowing down or getting tired. He can also recover quickly from punches or knockdowns. Joshua can also fight at a high pace for 12 rounds, but he tends to fade in the later rounds or after taking punishment. He can also struggle to cope with heat or humidity. Fury has more ability to sustain his performance than Joshua. Mentality. Both fighters have strong mentalities, but Fury has more confidence than Joshua. He believes he is unbeatable and destined to be the best heavyweight of all time. He's not afraid of anyone or anything and enjoys challenging himself against the best. He's also very unpredictable and can adapt to any situation or opponent. Joshua also believes he's one of the best heavyweights of all time, but he has shown some signs of doubt or insecurity after his losses or close fights. He is much more cautious and respectful. So, Fury's taller, heavier, and has longer reach than Joshua. He's also more versatile, unpredictable, and adaptable in the ring. He can fight orthodox or southpaw, box from the outside or brawl on the inside, switch from defense to offense in an instant, and he has shown that he can outbox and outsmart his opponents, as he did against Vladimir Klitschko and Deontay Wilder in their first fights, or he can knock them out with his underrated power, as he did against Wilder in their second fight. Joshua is more muscular, athletic, and explosive than Fury. He's also more consistent, disciplined, and focused in his training and preparation. He has shown that he can knock out his opponents with his devastating combinations, or he can box smartly and patiently with his jab and footwork, as he did against Ruiz Jr. in their second fight. He's also shown that he could overcome adversity and recover from knockdowns, as he did against Klitschko and Ruiz Jr. in their first fights. So this fight, if it ever happens, between Joshua and Fury is expected to be close and competitive, with both fighters having a chance to win by knockout. However, based on their recent performances and current form, this writer would give a slight edge to Fury. I think he has more tools in his arsenal, more experience at the elite level, more confidence in his abilities, and more hunger for greatness, which is what we talked about, by the way, on the Friday night panel with Mike Orr and Carl Woodison from Last Bell Boxing. Anyway, I think he'll be able to frustrate Joshua with his feints, angles, and movement, and land more punches with his speed and accuracy. I think he'll also be able to withstand Joshua's power with his chin and heart, and possibly hurt him with his own power. So, prediction: Fury will win by late stoppage. But in this case, as opposed to Jermaine Franklin, it will be a thrilling and entertaining fight that will go down in history as one of the best in heavyweight boxing. For his part, Jermaine Franklin said after the fight that Anthony Joshua will have no problems beating Dillian Whyte, keeping in mind that Dillian Whyte is the fighter that Eddie Hearn wants to put in the ring against Anthony Joshua next. With Franklin's fights against both guys, he's a good judge of which of the two will win if they battle in a rematch in July. The way that Joshua has promoted, Eddie Hearn repeatedly mentioned Whyte's post-fight, it was clear that he's the one he wants AJ to fight next in July. Ultimately, it'll be up to Joshua if he wants to face the struggling 34-year-old Whyte, who's now 28-3, because he looks washed, and the popularity that he once had with British boxing fans has gone downhill. Joshua, however, kept his career alive last Saturday night with a 12-round unanimous decision over Franklin. And Joshua looked slow, though, gun-shy, and not the fighter that he once was. And it's painfully obvious that he's not going to regain the form that he once had, regardless of who trains him. Said Jermaine Franklin, I'm a little bit disappointed in my own performance. I lost my cool, and I was getting frustrated a lot. Once I got frustrated, it kind of took away from the game plan. I took myself out of the fight. I think Joshua would beat Whyte. I don't think that would be a hard fight for Joshua. Like I told everybody, it would be harder for Joshua to punch me because I'm harder for bigger guys to punch down than it is for shorter guys to punch up. When you're taller, some of those shots are easy to get off. Yeah, I think Joshua beats Dillian. I'm coming back. Don't forget about me. This ain't going to be the last time you see me. Good for him. It was a good fight. All right, let's quickly move on to another result. Two-time Olympic gold medalist Robeisy Ramirez is now 12-1, 7 knockouts, and he captured the vacant WBO featherweight title with unanimous decision victory over former junior featherweight world champ Isaac Royal Storm Dogbo, who's now 24 350 knockouts, and that took place at the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Tulsa, Oklahoma, over the weekend. So congratulations to Ramirez, who I called. All right, let's move along quickly now to top-ranked promoter Bob Arum and what he's saying. He'll be pushing to set up a fight between Shakur Stevenson and the winner of the May 20th fight between undisputed lightweight champ Devin Haney and Vasily Lomachenko. Arum feels that the former two-division world champ Shakur, 19-0 by the way, 9 knockouts, has done enough since turning pro since in 2017 for him to be worthy as the opponent for the Haney-Loma winner. It's difficult to predict what Haney will do, though, as he's not shown much interest in fighting Shakur. Haney says if he comes out victorious against Lomachenko, who's 17-2, by the way, 11 knockouts, he wants to fight the winner of the April 22nd fight between Gervonta Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia. However, that's all contingent whether or not Tank's in jail. It's understandable why Haney would want to fight the Tank versus Ryan winner, because he can make a ton of money before he leaves the 135-pound division to move up to 140 or 147. And Haney won't make that kind of green fighting Shakur or anyone at light heavyweight. Before Arum can start pushing for Shakur to fight the Haney-Loma winner, he must take care of business against Shuichiro Yoshina, who's 16-0, 12 knockouts. That's upcoming on ESPN Plus at the Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey. The lightweight division, said Bob, is really loaded with good fighters, and the fight that I always wanted to see was either Haney or Loma against Shakur Stevenson. Again, Ryan Garcia and Tank Davis are terrific lightweights, and they're in the mix. The kid that is waiting in the wings that has proven himself so talented is Shakur. After this fight between Haney and Loma, if Shakur is successful, Shakur has been with us for 2 years, I'm going to push him as the opponent for the winner of that fight. I can't say because these guys have been on their own agenda and the timetable is really based on them. So I'll look at this fight and make plans for future fights after. They both want the win. That's terrific. And they'll prepare accordingly, said Arum. So as a fight fan, I can't wait to see this fight. How history is going to be right I don't know, but certainly it's a big fight for each of them, and they're treating it accordingly. All right, boxing fans around the world, thank you for joining me. Appreciate it very much. Remember to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. We'll see you later on at 4 p.m. when I join Mike Orr and Cedric Ben for their show Knuckle Up here on Talk and Fight, and perhaps his recap of the weekend as well. And thank you for joining me. Appreciate it.